LeBron isn't making moves without a plan already in place. Listen to this. He's always been calculated when it comes to his next destination, and the belief is that he's working behind the scenes to assemble another super team before making any major decision. That's simply how he's operated throughout his career. He's never been the type to join a roster first and hope everything falls into place later. Hold up, because that strategy has been part of his playbook for years. Meanwhile, if you ask Rich Paul, some of LeBron's biggest supporters, or his most loyal fans, they'll tell you a completely different story. They'll insist he's only chasing happiness, that money isn't a factor, and that he's just following his heart wherever it leads. But come on, man, that narrative doesn't line up with what many people believe is really happening behind the curtain. Anyway, I was scrolling through the internet like I usually do, and lately I've been spending a lot of time posting over on X, and let me tell you, X is absolutely ruthless. People on there won't just disagree with you, they'll roast your entire existence. If you decide to follow me over there, my handle is jrtabansi. Just know this, if you show up defending LeBron too hard, you might catch some heat as well. But anyway, while I was scrolling through the latest conversations and checking out what everyone was saying, something caught my attention. I came across a video featuring ESPN's Brian Windhorst, and what he revealed might surprise a lot of people. According to Windhorst, LeBron James has been reaching out to players connected to teams that interest him.
It was worth it. Even if you did, it was worth it. All right. So I want to talk about, obviously, we're all waiting on LeBron. I can just tell you, look, this is Monday afternoon. There is a dearth of information on this. The people in the league are all talking to each other, trying to find out what LeBron is thinking. There's not a lot of information. A whole bunch of NBA owners were up at the Sun Valley Media Conference last week in Idaho. Were you up there, McMahon? I can't remember. Did you get invited to that?
No, but you tend to be a little bit better with the billionaires than I am.
Well, I will say that I wasn't there, but one of the cool things that happened there apparently is the final negotiations took place to sell the Seattle Seahawks, which sold for over $9 billion. Like, it went down there in Sun Valley. But anyway, a bunch of the owners are there, and they were chatting, and some of the owners who are trying to get LeBron were talking to each other, and they were like, "Hey, have you heard anything? Nope. Have you heard anything? Nope. What, LeBron is reaching out and talking to players on some of these teams. And, they report back to their GM or their coach like, hey, LeBron called. Well, what did you think? So, I mean, there's, who knows? Maybe we'll do an emergency podcast soon. I know that there's this real desire to.
Now, you heard that, but hold up. The story didn't end there. Things took another interesting turn that made the entire conversation even more intriguing. Then I came across a post from ESPN Cleveland's verified account. The thumbnail claimed that Riz has heard LeBron is adjusting the roster before making his final decision. Yep, that statement came directly from ESPN Cleveland. Listen to this, because the video they shared adds another layer to the speculation.
What I'm hearing and what I was told makes a lot of sense. Do you know what LeBron's doing right now? And by the way, it could be for Cleveland or it could be for another team. He's roster adjusting. Now, let's see. The last time he came back, Wiggins was out, K-Love was in. That came out of nowhere.
You reported it.
Who could it be this time? Jared Allen's name's got to come up. I don't know. Harden and Perk. Big Perk. Kendrick Perkins said yesterday on First Take that LeBron's waiting for the Cavs to make a move. So do I think LeBron's made up his mind? 90%. But like any big decision in your career, you leave your options open to the very...
So after seeing all of that, the picture starts becoming a lot clearer. But listen to this. If you only pay attention to LeBron's most devoted fans, you'd think he's simply following his heart with no strategy involved. They'll flood every comment section defending every move, insisting he's just chasing happiness and nothing more. Hold up, because that's the version they want everyone to believe. The argument is that LeBron is simply a selfless superstar making decisions based on passion alone. But many critics say that story falls apart the moment you look at the bigger picture. Their belief is that he's always trying to put himself in the strongest possible position before making a move. And you know why people say that? Because comments made over a year ago seem to support that exact idea. Think back to when Rich Paul addressed the Lakers' long-term plans. He acknowledged that the organization wanted to build for the future, but he also made it clear they expected the team to remain competitive right now. Man, statements like that speak for themselves. It almost feels like these comments get made, then everyone hopes people forget they were ever said. They'll push one narrative today while ignoring what was already on the record months or even years earlier. The receipts are still out there. Those earlier comments haven't disappeared, So ask yourself this. Do you really think LeBron would simply sign with the team and quietly ride into the sunset? Most people who follow his career closely would probably say no. The expectation is that he'll try to surround himself with the strongest roster possible. That's also similar to the point Kendrick Perkins made recently, arguing that LeBron wants to maximize every remaining championship opportunity before his career ends. We've seen comparable situations when he joined Miami, returned to Cleveland, and later signed with the Lakers. So why would anyone expect his approach to suddenly be completely different now? History suggests he prefers putting himself in the best competitive position available. And in this situation, what makes the discussion even more interesting is that the latest speculation is also being amplified by ESPN Cleveland.